Welcome to New Ed Media. I'm Biff Baggett, and this is my brother Buff, and we bring you the news from throughout the universe and every place else. Well, tell me about the O'Reilly program. I know you were invited. Why were you there in the first place?
Well, I was invited to the Bill O'Reilly program because I am one of the few astronauts who actually walked on the surface of the moon. And this was the 50th anniversary of the moon landing.
Well, I know he wants a lot of money. All these people do that. They don't do it for nothing. That's how they make their living.
Well, actually, Bill O'Reilly is a pretty boring guy. I mean, he doesn't have much personality at all. Just Helen has written this book. It's called A Boy Growing Up During the Great Depression. You can get it on Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon, or you can go onto our website, www.newedmedia.com.
Well, I'm surprised it didn't just cut off the sound, because they could do that in the control room when you're doing something they don't like.
Well, he was not very happy about it, to say the least. He just.
Well, what did O'Reilly say after that? Did he say anything about what you had done?
He didn't talk to me after the show, and I just sat there. I didn't know what to do. He left the set, and I was there by myself, and so I just left.
Well, I understand you were invited back to New York to appear on some of the programs, some of the news programs and other shows. You appeared on the 5.
Won't get into it. I won't get years.
No one can get into the bathroom around here. All right, Dana. So how are they going to vote?
Many people on the Hill we know didn't even bother to read the bill before they passed it.
I've read it, and what it is the first step in Obama's program to redistribute America's money. He wants to take money from the people who work and give it to the people who do not work.
Did anyone disagree with you at all after what you said?
Well, no one on the program disagreed with me. No one said anything what I said was not true. And it was true. It is true. I think that's what Obama is trying to do. He's trying to redistribute the money, and that's exactly what I said, and that's exactly what I meant.
Well, I know you promised Kimberly a Rolls Royce, so you couldn't deliver that. So you did it on the available.
No, she didn't say anything about it. The Rolls Royce, they manufacture very few of them every year, and there was just nothing available.
Well, Biff, you're a history professor, and you also taught journalism at Columbia University. You certainly must be aware of the electronic media. Why are they so liberal, and why are they so much against the free enterprise system?
Well, the mainstream media generally, and many of the cable stations, intensely dislike the free enterprise system that we grew up under. They have an agenda, and they promote it heavily. In fact, they like government control of almost everything, every business and every industry. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised they don't control the internet, or at least they don't try to control the internet.
Aren't the owners of the networks and the TV stations part of the free enterprise system?
Well, it isn't just the owners of the networks, it's the people who work there. Remember, many of them were educated by communist-leaning professors, just like you and I were. It didn't rub off on us, perhaps, but many of the young people today are sympathetic to the policies of the Communist Party. Oh, they don't call it communism anymore. They call it progressive. Yeah, it's a progressive movement, but it is the communist philosophy of sharing and share alike.
Well, what are the goals of the people who call themselves progressive? What are they after?
Well, they like government control. When you invent a new product or you start a new industry, immediately they start calling for control. They want somebody to control that industry that you've just invented or developed, whatever it may be.
Well, the cable stations seem to be pretty bad, most of them. Which do you think are the worst ones of all?
Well, in cable, I think the two worst offenders are probably this guy who calls himself Reverend Al.
Is this Groundhog Day 2? We are watching that was Attorney General Eric Holder, ABDs about...
And also Ed Schultz. Reverend Al is very dangerous, and he is driving a big wedge between the white and the black races of people. He's doing a lot of damage to the race relationships. He's very bad. He's dangerous, as a matter of fact.
Well, do you think Schultz is just that dangerous too?
Oh, Ed Schultz, well, he would be too, but he's pretty stupid. And he's living in the past. He's talking all the time about labor unions, and he seems to be against everything progressive, though. He's against a pipeline that they want to build from Canada down to the southern part of the United States to process and refine oil. He seems to be against everything that is people want to do.
And the truth is that we are in a holy war. This is a holy war. Whether we want to see it that way or not, whether it's politically correct to say it or not, this is the truth.
Well, things look pretty grim as far as the world is concerned right now. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, and the only thing I know is that right now the Americans refuse to admit that they are in a religious war. They use all kinds of other words like terrorists and extremists and all these other, but they will not admit what the real truth is.
Well, in Iraq, ISIS has changed its name now to Islamic State for Iraq and the Levant. Now, the Levant includes Lebanon, Palestine, Israel, and that whole area. So they've had big plans for the Islamic State.
Well, there were powerful Islamic armies before. An Islamic army led by Abd al-Rahman swept through Spain with little or no opposition. But when he invaded France, he was stopped at the Battle of Tours by Charles Martel and the Frankish army. Through a combination of power and strategic maneuvering, Martel got behind the Islamic army and defeated them, and they were driven back across the Pyrenees Mountains into Spain. This was a momentous battle because without the victory at Tours, Europe today, at least France, would probably be an Islamic country, and maybe most of Europe, because the armies were moving very rapidly and very successfully until Charles Martel stopped them.
Well, in Europe, most of the Western countries now have large immigrant people from Muslim countries. Sweden, as a matter of fact, has completely lost its Viking heritage. Do you think there's a danger that this is going to happen in the United States, or that there is going to be an attack?
No, I don't think
country?
that somebody's going to fly over here with a bomb and drop it somewhere. But what I do think is a bomb will probably be made in the basement of some mosque somewhere, maybe in Austin, Texas, and they blow up the Capitol or Wichita, Kansas, or somewhere. That I fully expect. And also it's possible that they can come across the border, which is pretty open now, and detonate a bomb in, say, San Diego. That is a possibility, and something that I suppose will happen in the future. I don't want to think about it. We don't, and none of us want to think about it, but that's the way it is. Well, thanks for watching, folks. This is Biff Baggett and my brother Buff. We bring you the news from New Ed Media, news from throughout the universe and every place else. Thanks for watching. Check us out on newedmedia.com. Thanks for watching.